Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Tosha.
Let's start episode 192 of Ask Vidas and Osha podcast. Today's question was sent by Robert, and he wrote a response to my question: what are his organ dreams and the challenges that he's facing in his organ journey. So, he writes, I'd like to perform occasionally in public and perform concert-level pieces. And major holdback is a lack of adequate practice organs and someone to actively listen to my practice. That's interesting. First of all, that's a very natural dream, right? To be able to play in public concert-level pieces. For that, of course, he has to develop the large repertoire. What else?
Yes, no, and for his first performances he could sort of mix pieces, not necessarily play all the hard stuff and long stuff.
Exactly, and not necessarily even a full hour recital. You could play 30 minutes.
Yes, and it always depends on what audience you're playing to, because not everybody appreciates long, lasting, and difficult music. From the audience, I mean. That's sometimes people enjoy, even hearing, lighter music.
You know what I would do if I was a beginning organist but would love to eventually play in public? I would probably go to find some friends in local churches and then ask for occasional performance opportunities in the liturgical setting. What I mean is I would play a postlude or a prelude or communion piece or even an offertory once in a while, maybe once a month. One piece or two pieces, it doesn't have to be long, right? 2-3 minutes. So basically 2-3 pages of music, that would be enough, and enough to keep me motivated.
Yes, that's true, but later on you would have, to keep going with concert repertoire and more complicated pieces. And what I would have also to suggest, maybe, you can find somebody who would help for you to perform together with you. And I mean another instrument or soloist. That way, you could do, let's say, half a concert of your solo music and half a concert with soloist.
Exactly. Even if this concert itself would be short.
I know, and that way, usually when you accompany, it's an easier things.
Yes, maybe without pedals.
True.
But he writes that he can't find adequate practice organs, right, in his area. So maybe he could go to one of the churches and ask for permission to practice there occasionally, maybe in exchange of playing some services. So volunteering, right?
Yes. But I remember, my study years in Lithuania, of course, I did not have enough time on the organ as I wanted, as I needed. So what I did, I practiced my organ pieces on the piano too.
Of course, we don't know if Robert has any type of keyboard at home.
But I think it's easier to get, let's say piano than the organ. Don't you think so?
Generally talking, yes. Or even a keyboard, electronic keyboard.
So that way, you could save some time and do some work on that kind of keyboard.
What some of our Undamari studio students do, they print out our paper pedals and paper manuals and play at home on the table and on the floor.
Yes.
And not all of them do that because you cannot hear the sound. But people who are persistent and have a big vision, they they would rather do this instead of skipping practice.
Yes, that's true. So, you can find various most unexpected solutions, for your problems.
And it's just temporary. I don't think you would, play all the time on the paper or on electronic keyboard. Maybe it's just for a month or two until you get a better solution.
And I think, if you would do some part, or the largest part of your practice at home in any way, or at least, be able to play notes smoothly, not making too many mistakes, when you will not feel embarrassed when somebody would be listening to your practice. And this was a problem too for Robert, as I understood from his question.
I'm not sure I'm following it. That he would love that someone would actively listen to his practice, right? Like a coach, or not? Or do you understand that somebody is listening and he's embarrassed?
That's how I understood this part of the question. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, could be both actually. Could be both scenarios. If someone is listening to his practice, it means that he has an instrument on which to practice. That's good, right?
I know. But if you don't have somebody who would listen to your practice and would advise you what to do or what not to do and how to play, you could record yourself.
Absolutely.
And listen to your playing, and you will hear some things that you will probably not like, and then you will change them and improve them.
The funny thing about recording yourself is that before you do that, you think, oh, you play so well sometimes. You're proud of your achievements because you spend so much time on the organ bench. And sometimes you cannot really hear what's happening until you record yourself and even not listen to yourself right away, but after a few days, after you forget that feeling of that practice, and then you sort of listen to that recording as a stranger, and then you could be more objective.
Yes, that's true. And also some people, who are very modest might be have a very bad opinion about their performance. And this might change also after listening to the recordings that, we listen, oh, I'm playing actually quite well.
Not so bad, right? So it depends on how do you judge yourself.
Yes, and what your character is.
If you are a perfectionist or not.
That's true. But either way, it would be, useful for yourself to record.
Are you playing perfectionist also or not?
I will not dignify this question with an answer.
We know the answer though. Was it difficult for you to let go of the feeling that you might not be so to say, perfectly prepared for the public release of your recording, let's say?
Yes.
You have to let go of your imaginary mistakes.
Yes, that's true.
Sometimes those mistakes don't kill you.
Yes.
Or
but sometimes we do.
What do you mean?
I'm just making fun.
I see. Yeah, sometimes people, if you put your recording on YouTube, you can receive some nasty comments, and I don't recommend replying to those comments at all. If you don't like negative feedback, ignore those comments at all, and even you can mute comments and let them vent anywhere else, on their own channel.
But from my experience, I think that people who give other people negative comments, they actually cannot play well themselves.
Absolutely. In in my experience, whenever I listen to YouTube videos, sometimes I encounter not so well performant pieces, right? But I never ever have complained about that performance level and never said, "Oh, you should not play the organ," or just keep it to yourself. I'm embarrassed and things like that. Never, because I know what it takes to play well,
Yes,
or
that's
what
true.
it takes to play
Yes,
bad, right?
I
Sometimes.
know.
So it takes thousands of hours, and if that person was brave enough to put that recording and out there and feel vulnerable, that's better. It says a lot of him.
Yes.
So Osha, let's encourage people to publicize their own performances on the internet. Okay?
Okay.
So encourage.
Don't be afraid to put your recordings on the internet.
Exactly. You actually will feel stronger about yourself once you are doing this for, let's say, a month or two. You kind of feel resilient to feedback and negative comments.
Yes, or just mute the comments.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. This was Vidas.
And Osha,
We hope this was useful to you, right, Osha?
I hope so.
Please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.